Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of August 4th. You have this dragonfly spirit. It says, shift your way of thinking and tackle the issue from a different angle. You have this family and heritage card. It says it's time to get back in touch with your loved ones that you have been away from. You always get this stuff with family with me, Sag, and it kind of makes sense. This card right here popped out onto my lap when I pulled out that Seven of Swords. So sure, we'll take it. But yeah, what I was gonna say is I feel like a lot of you have had issues with family, or I don't know. It's like I think you've had like disappointments. It's like the feeling that I get here. The way that I read is I just put myself in your shoes, and like I feel like someone has disappointed you again. It's like a family member or something like that. And so some of you are realizing that maybe you have to avoid those people or cut them out in some way, right? And I just think it's something that Sagittarius is dealing with in general. Now, the rest of the reading actually looks pretty good here. You have some, you have like a mix here. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's like you have some good stuff. You have some challenging stuff popping up here, although it's mostly good, really. The challenging stuff you have is the Tower in that Devil card. You do have the Nine of Swords, but it's coming up in the good stuff. So let's see. In your current general energies for the week, you have the Strength card and the Seven of Swords. The Strength card is about being patient, right? Of course, and I think you have been patient. The Seven of Swords is about doing things in a different way. And I kind of feel that some of you, there might be an abrupt change this week, and like, it doesn't feel that bad though, Sag. I mean, you have the Empress, the Ace of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, Ten of Cups. These are all very good cards. So it's like sometimes I think we can experience an abrupt change that, like, at first we resist it, but then, after we're like, oh, I'm kind of glad that happened, right? And so that's kind of what I feel here, especially with this Tower showing up here as well. The Tower can represent entering into a new reality. The whole point of the Tower is that these people have been ignoring reality, and now they're being brought back down to earth so that they can see reality for how it actually is, right? And so I do feel that a lot of you need to pay attention to reality, or you need to pay attention to it's like how reality is working for you or something. Definitely popping into my head with this card. And, I think the reason I feel like saying that is because for some of you, I feel like reality is not working or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like, sometimes it's like I've had this vision before, right? Where it's like sometimes I think there's like a person, you, like pretend that's my hand. But it's like there's like another part of you that's like slightly split off, right? It's like where you almost feel like you're not together, the two parts of your body. Maybe your spirit, your whatever. And there's something about that popping into my head about this like disconnected feeling. And is this bad or good? I'm not sure. We'll have to see when we clarify. I don't necessarily think it's bad. I think it can feel weird. But what I would say is, man, there is a lot going on. I mean, there has been crazy stuff going on, like sun activity. Schumann resonance has been off the charts for like over a month now. So, people have been feeling weird, I think. Just in general, I've been feeling off because of it. I'm convinced. So, it's like there's a lot going on that I think, could be making us feel almost like we are kind of like off center, or it's like we're not, locked into ourselves, And I feel like the Tower is trying to get you to lock back in to yourself. Maybe a better way to put this would be to ground yourself, right? And sometimes I think that's what it is. Like, when I was younger, especially, as a Pisces, I would like constantly be out of body, just like, off in the clouds, right? And it's like I had to learn how to like ground myself, and that I needed to ground myself, and that when I had those feelings, or when I was off in the clouds, that it didn't mean I was distracted or anything like that. It just meant that I just had to come back to earth, right? And so it's like the Tower, these people are coming back down to earth. Maybe you just need to go walk in the grass barefoot. Maybe you need to stomp on the ground. That's another good one. Maybe you need to picture roots shooting out of your feet and pulling you down to earth, right? But there's something about that. Especially if you're feeling off. You have the Justice card. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me like it's a time of evidence. I think that this is Pluto and Aquarius, actually. Yes, I understand that this card is Libra, but I think what is causing people to need to look at the evidence is Pluto and Aquarius. For whatever reason. Why? I can't explain it. I don't know. This is Chris's crappy astrology here, by the way, so... Again, doesn't always make sense, but I don't know. Sometimes I think it's more accurate, so there you go. But... I would pay attention to the evidence, just in life in general. Everything you're working on, is it actually working or not? And if the answer is no, it's not working, then do something else, right? or move in a new direction or whatever. With the Seven of Swords and the Strength card, you have the King of Wands. I kind of feel like this could be you showing up here in a very strong position. It is a very independent time for Sagittarius. I think, that a lot of the benefits that you're going to get out of life are going to be benefits that you create for yourself. It is kind of funny too. For whatever reason, I know a lot of Sagittariuses in my life. I'm a Pisces. Why? I don't know. But it's, I always pay attention to this when I know people's signs. I pay attention, are there any similarities in the way these people were raised or how they grew up or whatever, things like that. And multiple of the Sagittariuses that I know in my life are very independent, but they were forced to be independent. Two of them basically had to raise themselves that I can think of off the top of my head. So that maybe that's a very Sagittarius thing. I don't know, but kind of being born into a family where maybe you have to raise yourself for whatever reason or do your own thing. But again, I think I do find that Sagittarius is very independent. So there you go. With the Tower, you have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, this is a good thing. King of Pentacles is not a bad card, I always say, but the thing about the King of Pentacles is that he's a card of convention. He just does things the same way over and over and over again, and he is expecting a different result, but he's not getting it because he's not doing things different. And so the King of Pentacles is pretty simple. Sometimes we just have to be willing to do things differently, or we just have to approach things from a different perspective. I always say the easiest thing to do with him is the 80-20 rule, which is a different 80-20 rule, which is, 80% of the time in life, do what works. 20% of the time, you're going to have to experiment. And again, with Pluto and Aquarius, we are in an amazing time of experimentation. So, I'm a big fan of it. Obviously, you can look at this channel. I run experiments like crazy. You can literally see it right in front of your face, right? Most of my experiments don't work. I will tell you that, right? I'm not the brightest bulb in the box. I fell on my head when I was 10 years old, and that was it. I became a D student overnight, literally. And so, there you go. Most of my ideas are absolute crap, but the ones that work really well. So it is worth it to experiment at this time. With the Justice card, you have the Page of Cups. A lot of love for fire this week, for sure. So, if you want love, this could be a very strong connection. Now, I would be careful with the Devil, especially with the Ace of Wands. It could be, a person who only wants one thing, if you catch my drift here, Sagittarius. So, I would make sure that a person is serious. Now, if you only want one thing, then go for it. Again, you're not going to get any judgments from me. So, again, if you're just down to clown, go for it, right? That's what this person might want. Although, what I will say is you have the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. So that is more serious, and we'll definitely look into it. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Let It Go card and this Perfect Harmony card. I'm telling everybody's letting go of something this week, or the month of August, which, again, this week, the week of the 4th, is the last week of the retrograde. The retrograde ends on the 11th. So, I think that a lot of people could just be releasing something that no longer serves them. I feel we really need to pay attention to harmony. It is I think that sometimes when the energy is almost too simple, things feel more complicated, right? If that makes sense. Because we could be thinking to ourselves, there's no way that life can be this simple, but actually it is right now. I think we need to pay attention to this. Harmony. What is working? If something is working, continue to let it work and don't go the other direction. If something isn't working, then stop, right? So we just need to pay attention to what is working, what's not working, and I think things will go well. You have the Empress, the Ace of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. The Empress can definitely be abundance, or can be you attracting more abundance into your life. You have the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, so it looks to me like it is a very abundant time for you with this energy. I also feel for a lot of you that this could just say you're very attractive at this time. So for those of you that want love, I feel that you should probably be getting out into public. Now, I would be careful of people's intentions. You're all different. You all want different things. Like I said, no judgments here. So, if you only want one thing, then go for it. But if you want more, I would make sure that people are actually, that they seriously want more. And, I would just pay attention to that. I don't know. It's popping into my head. I also think it's an amazing time of creativity for you, obviously. You have this card and the Ace of Wands. Use your imagination here, Sag. But I think if you're working on any projects, these are both amazing cards for working on creative projects, creative pursuits, birthing new ideas, all that. So it would be a great time for you to do all those things. You have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is out with the old and with the new. like I said, with this let it go card, I think that this week a lot of people could be releasing something or letting go of something very quickly. And yeah, it could be rather sudden, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. I actually like the Ace of Wands after the Tower because there's this castle in the background here that's crumbling on the Ace of Wands. And that castle can say that, it basically is like the tower crumbling. So, it seems to me like, some of you could be releasing one thing to get something better. Now, the Ace of Wands is only a spark. And I always say with the Ace of Wands that we have to keep putting wood on this fire. You have a spark right here. Sorry, wrong camera. Right here. You have that lightning bolt at the top of the tower. I've been telling you for weeks with that Uranus and Gemini. I'm telling you right now, Sag, that if I were a Sagittarius, that's like the only thing I would be paying attention to is my ideas. And also sudden ideas, because it's going to come in like a lightning bolt, but you're going to have to like capture that spark and make sure that you get that fire to grow. You have the Wheel of Fortune. You have been getting the Wheel of Fortune with me like crazy over the past few months. You are the Wheel of Fortune. This is your card, Sagittarius, or one of your cards, I should say. Also the Temperance card. But, I feel that for a lot of you, it is kind of a lucky time. Now, again, as I've said to you a million times before, you're going to have to create your own luck. You're not going to just get lucky. It's like, especially at this time, the type of luck that we can have right now is going to come from doing a couple of things, like standing out, number one, having a different opinion. I really think with Pluto and Aquarius, people who are willing to speak up, like take the risk of speaking up in situations and taking the risk of being wrong, like speaking up at work, sharing your opinion at work, telling your boss what you think everybody should be doing or whatever, like those types of risks, right? Having a different opinion as well, like if you have if you have social media, like a great way to stand out is to have a different opinion. I've seen it go very, very wrong for people, but I've also seen it go very, very right for people as well, right? So that's what I would say there. But, doing things to stand out is kind of what's popping into my head. With the Empress, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles can be a very slow movement, but I actually feel pretty good about this. Knight of Pentacles is a card of progress. And we see just great money stuff going on here, Sag. So I feel a lot of you could be just improving your finances, plain and simple. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Sun. The Sun can represent more joy, happiness, peace, best card in the deck. And so in some ways, it kind of makes that tower better. And the other thing I would say is that the Sun is usually very hard to ignore. The Sun is kind of like a spotlight in a reading. It shines a light on something that we need to pay attention to. And so it can represent our attention. And it can say your attention is being drawn to something that you need to pay attention to in life. And so don't be afraid of new directions here. Clearly, it's going to bring a lot of happiness very quickly. Here you go. This changes everything. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Judgment card. This right here, Tower and Judgment, I consider to be the most powerful combination in the tarot. To me, it's like a major revelation, major wake-up call, sudden inspiration, all the things we talked about. So, really, this is probably a good thing right here. It can be intense, It can be one of those things where it's like all of a sudden you realize, you could have a realization where you're like, oh my God, I have to quit my job because it's stealing my energy and I need to go do something else. It could be like very sudden. And the other thing is that these people have to enter into the new reality. They are standing in these coffins. The coffin is their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life. They really have to step into that new life to experience something good. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Prison card and this Service card. Yeah, with the Devil, if there is anything that you are feeling trapped or bound to, I would cut it out, whatever it is, as much as you possibly can. Now, I realize life isn't perfect, so, it's like sometimes we can't just quit a job that feels like prison right away, right? We have to go do something else, or we have to find something else first, right? And so sometimes I do think we have to make the best of a situation for now until we do find whatever that next thing is. And I do feel these cards are saying that to you. So there you go. You have the Devil, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Cups. Again, I do feel this could be a person as well. I would be careful of a person's intentions. It's kind of like one of those things. I feel like this is a belief thing. And I'm not talking about your beliefs. What I'm talking about is, this person, I think they will be very upfront and honest, and they will tell you exactly what they want. I cannot tell you, again, I'm not picking on anyone here, I'm just making a point, right? I've done many readings over the years where people have said to me, like, oh, I met this person, and they told me that they just wanted to be friends with benefits, and now they won't commit to me. I'm like, they told you exactly what they wanted, and you thought you could change them, right? So, yeah, I know it's hard, and it sucks, but, it's like sometimes we have to take people at their word, and I kind of feel like this devil card is saying that. It's like saying, you can't call a person toxic when they show you who they are, right? It's kind of like someone once said to me something about drug addicts being liars. And I was like, well, actually, drug addicts are the most honest people that exist. They do exactly what they say they are going to do. Maybe not with their words, but it's like they have predictable actions, right? So is that a lie? I would say no. It's kind of like when someone dates a cheater and they cheat and they say they lied or they're a narcissist. I'm like, well, actually not. They did exactly the thing that is in their nature. So they actually were very honest, but you just didn't want to see it, right? And I feel like that's what's going on here with this devil. It's like saying, don't get caught up in something. I feel like this is like something new that could happen, where it's like saying, if a person tells you something, believe them, right? Now, I do also feel there's good love here. So, this is, again, I think this will be very obvious. I think this will be a person that's like, I just want to be friends with benefits. I'm not looking for anything serious. Those types of words, they are not going to change. Believe them. You have the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. Ten of Pentacles is like everything you want and desire in your life. So, Ten of Pentacles is amazing. I'll tell you what, Sag. Whatever you're working on, and I know I've been saying this to you for weeks, like I would just keep going because I think that you could be working on something that is going to build some like serious wealth for you in the future, or at least provide some level of financial security. And yeah, I think this will be very good for you with the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is kind of like everything you want and desire. Now, for a very long time, we've had Uranus and Taurus. Now it's in Gemini, although Uranus will retrograde back into Taurus this year. There you go. I don't even know how that happens. My phone is on silent. I don't get it. But anyway, for a very long time, we have been pushed towards working towards building and leaving a legacy. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire. There really is... it's a very open-ended message because Ten of Pentacles says there are many things that would make you feel fulfilled in life. Pick one and make it happen. Pick one thing and work on it, right? If you do that, things will go well. You have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family, good things happening after a difficult period of time. So I feel that for a lot of you. A lot of you could be attracting some really good things here with the Ten of Cups. If you do want love, I do feel that there could be a serious person. But, I wouldn't just jump into bed with this person that's not serious. And, yeah. It's like sometimes, like, there was a meme years ago, and it said, I don't remember what it said, but it said something like, when you're looking for love, the devil will send you, like, a 5-foot-tall brunette with stomach issues, or something like that, right? And it was geared towards men, but I think this is true for everybody. It doesn't matter what you're interested in. It's like, it's like when you're really looking for love, sometimes it's like, first, I think the devil just sends you that one thing that looks really good on the surface. Maybe maybe they know all your secret spots and everything like that, Sagittarius, but also it's the devil. And so that's popping into my head. It's almost like I don't really think the universe tests us, but it's almost like this is a test. Like if you're meeting a person and they tell you what they want, and you ignore it, right? So don't, is what I feel like this is saying. And if you've been alone for a while, I know it can be hard to be like, to say no to a person or to, when maybe you haven't had anyone express interest in you in a long time. But I feel like this is saying no. Here you go. With the devil, you have the Two of Pentacles. Make the right choice. I do think there are two choices. I think some of you are attracting a new person, two people possibly. Make the right choice is what this is saying. The other thing with the devil in the Two of Pentacles is it says, don't work yourself to the bone. These two cards together can represent working too hard and needing to balance that energy out. It's like work hard, play hard. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Swords. Like I said, the truth, right? We talked about it. But this could also be a victory coming in for you. So I do think that there could be a big victory coming in. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. I do feel that there could be some sort of change in direction coming in for you with the Seven of Pentacles, and probably in your finances. We've been talking about this for weeks, because I always say that every Sag I know has like a side hustle, right? And, that a lot of you could be turning a side hustle into a business. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Unmasked card. It says, reveal identity, expose intent, question. Are you kidding me? Like, literally, like with the Oni mask, the devil mask there, and all that other stuff, everything we've talked about. It's coming up in the good stuff, which is good. So you probably will expose this person's intentions, right? You have this Protector card. It says, strong, smart, courageous, and capable. You. I think this is you, Sagittarius. I think you need to embrace all those energies. You have the Nine of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Four Swords and the good stuff. Again, Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare. But when it shows up in the good stuff, it can say we are ending a never-ending nightmare, or we're getting out of something that has been a never-ending nightmare. So, again, obviously this could be a good thing, not a bad thing. You could be getting out of or escaping from something that has been a never-ending nightmare, which is good. Also, this could say that you are avoiding something that could potentially be a never-ending nightmare. So, yeah, definitely very positive. You have the Hierophant. I think you're like coming out of your shell, breaking out of the box type energy here. The Hierophant is like sitting on a box, and I feel, and so is the Devil. The Devil is on the black box of Saturn. That black box can be the thing that controls you with the Devil. Sometimes the Devil is this right here, believe it or not. Sometimes the Devil is our own traditions, our own things that we believe about life, or situations, or things in life, or the way that we think life should work, or whatever. That can sometimes be the Hierophant, right? Sometimes the Hierophant can be traditions. It can say we live life in a certain way, but sometimes that is the thing that controls us. I don't know, weird message popping into my head here, Sag, but you could be breaking free from control because of that. But that would be good. You have this Four Swords. Four Swords can be like resting, relaxing, recovering, and healing. So I do feel that a lot of you could be like going through a healing here with the Four Swords. I think it is this last week. The retrograde is a good week to heal. I always think the end of retrogrades are good for resting, relaxing, recovering. Again, retrogrades are always strongest at the beginning and the end. This one ends on the 11th. So, a couple of days before the 11th, like on the 9th, 8th, 9th, that's when it starts getting a little bit stronger. And, I would take time to heal, rest, relax, recover, do any of that stuff, right? With the Nine of Swords, you have the Queen of Cups. Weird message. Your fears are trying to tell you something, literally. Popping into my head. It literally popped into my head the second I touched that card. It's like, today is July 31st. So this video will be published on the 1st. Even if you're watching this early, if you are having any fears that pop up in life about anything, I feel like they're trying to tell you something about your future, and you should change it now. Like whatever it is. I don't have any good examples here. It's like maybe you're worried about money, or you have a fear about money. I feel like this is saying, number one, don't worry about it, right? Worry does nothing for us, but look at it. You should look at the fear. You should say, this is a fear that I'm having. What do I need to do to make sure this doesn't happen in the future? Whatever the fear is, right? So, I don't know. That's a weird message, but there you go. I think it'll be a good thing, because if you do it, you'll fix it. Yes, with the Hierophant, you have the Knight of Cups. I think you need to believe there's a person that's in alignment with you. And, the Knight of Cups is like a knight in shining armor. So, definitely could be a knight in shining armor, but I would trust people's words, like I said, with that Devil. It's like, I don't even think this is a toxic person. I think that it's like maybe... I think that they will tell you exactly what they want, So, there you go. With the Four Swords, you have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is like wish fulfillment, or fulfillment in general. I do feel with the Nine of Cups, we have to be in alignment with what we want to get what we want. And so I would make sure that you are getting into alignment. You have this Target card. It says a goal-oriented person. I think this is you. I think we are in a time of where we all should be goal-oriented. That's what's going to lead to the most success for all of us. And so I would be doing whatever you can to, get into alignment with your goals, wishes, dreams, all that other good stuff here. You have this August card and this box card. It says you will receive a gift. So I feel that there could be a gift coming in for you. We are in the month of August practically. Or we are. This is for the week of the 4th. So again, I think that there could be some sort of gift coming in for you. This could be the gift of a realization as well with that Hierophant. If you're setting yourself free from, something you've always believed, or, a certain belief that has kept you trapped or something, that could be going on here. You have this eye card. It says psychic ability, trust your intuition. Yeah, it's an amazing time to trust your intuition, obviously. We are in a very intuitive time. And, that could be also the fear thing as well. You could have a fear about the future that's trying to, warn you about something in the future. And again, I think that worry does nothing. I definitely feel we are in a time of worry until 2033. I've been talking about this for years, literally. And not mostly because of Uranus and Gemini. Uranus will be in Gemini until 2033. And, really, it's going to retrograde out in 2032, but just for a very short period of time before it goes back in. I've been saying since 2023 that my concern for people is that they're going to get to 2033, they're going to look back on the last 10 years, and all they are going to have done is worried. So there's no point in worrying, right? if we have a worry, we shouldn't ignore it either. We should just look at it and say, what do I need to do to fix this situation? So, like, don't be helpless, right? And there you go. Next, I dropped it, but you have the scissors card. It says disappointment in some affair. I think there could be little disappointments here and there, but really I'm not too worried about it. Tower. You have this egg. It says success assured with good plans and hard work. Yes, I would come up. I think it's an amazing time to come up with a simple plan for something you're going to do and execute on that simple plan, right? That's where success will come from. But this looks really good here, Sag. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.